Tja, das ist ganz einfach, meine Damen und Herren. Wenn Sie so ein Motiv haben, dann können Sie eigentlich nur ein richtig tolles Foto machen. Ist mir auch gelungen. Ich sende jetzt dieses Foto natürlich auf die Geräte meiner Wahl. Hier haben wir zum Beispiel einfach einmal einen Knopf drücken und wir haben sofort dieses Bild auf dem großen Bildschirm. Das ist keine Überraschung. Sie wissen, Samsung hier vorbildlich mit All-Share, also die Möglichkeit, Fotos nicht nur auf den Fernsehgeräten zu sehen. In diesem Moment haben die beiden Herrschaften auch angefangen zu zeichnen. Wir können also all die Geräte, die All-Share benutzen, wunderbar in Ihrem Büro, in Ihrem Wohnzimmer, in Ihrer Wohnung komplett vernetzen und Sie sehen schon, ob es rein zum Betrachten ist, zum Genießen oder ob es zum Arbeiten ist. Wir haben die Möglichkeit, also fantastische Vernetzungsarbeitsbedingungen zu schaffen. Das Erste, was Miriam jetzt macht, sie geht natürlich dorthin, wo es ihr am besten gefällt, auf die interaktive Oberfläche. Und vielleicht können wir es mal reinhalten, wenn man sozusagen vielleicht auch mal die Applikationsseite zeigt. Sie geht jetzt sozusagen auf die Hauptseite und dann werden Sie es so, wie Sie es vielleicht von Ihrem Smartphone gewohnt sind, diese ganzen Applikationen sehen. Sie können scrollen, Sie können sich Ihre Applikationen zusammenlegen. Ganz so, wie Sie es kennen, suchen Sie einfach, haben Sie unbegrenzte Möglichkeiten, sich diese Applikation runterzuladen. Und wir schauen mal, was so Ihre Lieblingsapplikation ist. Was wird es heute sein? Ja, ist schon ganz klar, Instagram. Weil sie sagte mir natürlich, ihre Mutter fragt sich immer, was machst du denn, Kind, auf der Messe? Jetzt kann sie ihr ganz original live hier von der Bühne schicken. Und sie macht es jetzt einfach mal. Miriam holt sich jetzt, jawohl, so, es ist Fotografen untereinander, hier wird scharf geschossen, meine Damen und Herren. Sie hat jetzt diesen Mann bei sich auf dem Bildschirm in dem Instagram-Programm und das bedeutet, wir sehen es vielleicht im Detail, da ist der Mann. Sie hat all die Möglichkeiten, wenn Sie es noch nicht können, holen Sie sich es wirklich, es ist kostenlos, man kann es downloaden, natürlich für Android und das wiederum, die kann ich auch nicht.
Dass du anfängst, mich davon zu überzeugen, dass ich das auch alles könnte.
Da du aus dem szenischen Bereich kommst, ja.
Und vielleicht die Kameras bald ganz alleine machen.
Wenn es die Kamera alleine macht, dann wäre das eine grenzenlose Kreativität und dann würden wir beide gar nicht mehr gebrauchen.
Thanks very much for coming. We're a little behind schedule. Thank you.
Probably one of the most difficult things that all photographers, whether you're a portrait photographer, whatever type of photographer you are, will be the edit. And my agent is he's a great guy, but one of the first things when he took me on was he was incredibly critical of how I edited my work. And he's not just critical of me, he's critical of all the people he represents. This is a tight edit of Chef Sat Baines, and I kind of like the first maybe 2 or 3, but he's aware of the camera. It's obvious he's aware of the camera. He's playing to the camera. We just went for dinner there, and I took my camera with me, and I had him chat to a mutual friend, and they were kind of having fun. So I whittled the edit down a little bit, kind of like the first one. He's gregarious, he's larger than life. The second one, not keen on. But for me, it's a no-brainer. It's the third one, because he's completely let loose, he's cut loose, and there's an energy about that picture. He's just a larger-than-life character, and I felt that the picture really captured him. No such problems for Bruno Tonielli. The minute I appeared, he knew that I was there to photograph him. He started stripping off me, and I had to just pull the camera. I'm no photojournalist, but I managed to shoot a picture. Len Goodman, a more structured portrait now of Len, but I didn't feel, it kind of felt predictable, so I had him take his jacket on and off. At this point he's standing there just in his underwear, and he did actually say, why don't you take a picture of me in my underwear? And I was far too polite. I should have been much more of a paparazzi. I wish I had taken a picture of him like that now, but there was more energy about it taking his jacket on and off. And I didn't mind that the focus was actually on his tie. It didn't matter because there's a kind of energy about it, and I felt that it captured him. I had probably 5, maybe 10 minutes to photograph Bruce Forsyth, and for me, Bruce was kind of a legend when I was a kid, and I was a shameless sycophant when I photographed Brucey. And I had to walk into the room, and he was there, his agent was there was a journalist, there was myself, and I had to very quickly, whilst talking to Bruce, and explain what a big impact and part of my life it was as a kid. Look at the location, look at him, look at where I was going to shoot a picture of him, what was the composition going to be like, and it all's happening so quickly. You kind of have, as some photographers call it, a Zen moment, but yeah, you do, and it's almost like the camera, you have to know the camera inside out to take these sorts of pictures. So I very quickly saw the mirror, thought that'd be cool. He went to tie his cravat. So I had him tie his cravat, but then I said, why don't you just relax and ponder? In fact, reflect on your 70 years of experience in the TV industry. In fact, I think he's in the Guinness Book of Records now for the largest, or the longest time ever in showbiz, of anybody ever. There was a poignancy about the picture that I rather liked. With Paul Smith, a very recognisable face in fashion, we were chatting backstage, and he's a keen cyclist and a keen photographer, as am I, and we talked for ages, and I said, I've got this idea for a picture, Paul, do you mind if we do it? And this was literally 2 minutes before the show, and he's such a gentleman, he said, yeah, sure, and so he goes and performs, and I said, I only want to see a little bit of you popping out, and that's what we did. Jones. This was shot on an original 5D Mark I at 3200 ISO, practically in the dock. He's probably the king of millinery, and thankfully for this picture, he was wearing a crown. Hairstylist Malcolm Edwards, he was making cardboard hair, so it was quite simple really what we did with it. This illustrator, I just happened to see him as I was walking along at a fashion show, and I thought he got a fairly colourful choice of wardrobe along with the airbrush, and I said, why don't you put it between your teeth? And I just like the feel of it. Neil Kirk, fashion photographer, he's just as good in front of the camera as he is behind. He just plays the camera, great to work with. Back to Manolo Blahnik. This was just really one of those moments. I was actually shooting pictures for fashion photographer Nick Knight. And it was the launch of Nick's big show in London at Somerset House. And Manolo was a guest, and I was just sort of mingling around and just pointed my camera, and he turned around and we took this picture. I don't think I could probably have shot that even in the studio, so I was really pleased with that. Miles Aldrich, he wanted me to shoot a picture, a portrait of him, because he'd shot the Lavazza calendar back in 2010. I like this one, but Lavazza and him wanted a much more structured portrait. So we shot this. My friend and butcher, actually, second generation butcher, Jack O'Shea. I had him not wash his hair or trim his beard for 2 days before I took this picture. I wanted a real grungy feel to it. And actually the backdrop is the lining of my jacket in the shot his portrait.
Natürlich komplett als kompletten